Life has a funny way of surprising us when we least expect it. Emma Carter, a struggling freelance writer, had no idea that today would change her life forever. Emma rushed down the sidewalk, a steaming cup of coffee in one hand, her phone in the other, desperately trying to unlock the screen with her nose. "Late again," she muttered, picking up the pace, eyes glued to the screen, completely oblivious to what lay ahead. Bam! She crashed into something solid. No, someone. A brick wall of a man in an expensive suit. Her coffee took flight, soaring through the air in slow motion before landing perfectly on his crisp white shirt. Silence. Absolute silence. Emma looked up, straight into the cold gray eyes of Lucas Reed, a man who carried himself like royalty. She gave an awkward chuckle. "Oh, I can explain." Lucas folded his arms, giving her an unimpressed stare. "Really? I can't wait to hear this." Emma had no idea this was the CEO of the company she was about to interview for. Emma froze for a few seconds, trying to process what had just happened. She had just turned a powerful businessman into a walking coffee stain. "Look, I'm really sorry," she blurted, fumbling through her bag for napkins. But before she could wipe the mess, Lucas stepped back, his expression unreadable. "Don't bother," he said coolly. "You should pay more attention." With that, he turned on his heel and strode into the sleek, modern building ahead. Emma stood there, horrified. Great, just great. But there was no time to dwell on it. She took a deep breath, straightened her dress, and rushed inside. She still had an interview to get through. Inside, she fidgeted in the waiting area. A few moments later, the receptionist called her name. "Lucas Reed is expecting you. Please proceed to the 25th floor." Emma blinked. Lucas Reed? Why does that sound familiar? The office door swung open, and Emma nearly fainted. Sitting before her was none other than Mr. Coffee Disaster himself, Lucas Reed, CEO of Reed Publishing. Lucas leaned back in his chair, arms crossed, a smirk playing on his lips. "You're on time. Impressive." Emma wanted to disappear, but there was no turning back. She forced herself to sit, hands clasped together. Lucas flipped through her resume. "Your qualifications are quite impressive, but I'm curious, why do you think you're a good fit for this position?" Emma swallowed hard. I'm a hard worker, creative, and extremely organized." She hesitated for a second before adding, "And I don't usually spill coffee on my bosses." Silence. Emma internally panicked. "Great. Just dig your own grave, Emma." "But then," Lucas chuckled. It was brief, barely noticeable, but it was there. He quickly composed himself. "Interesting." He shut the folder. "Welcome to Reed Publishing, Emma Carter." Emma stared in shock. Did she just get the job? Working at Reed Publishing was unlike any job Emma had ever had. Lucas Reed was intense, calculating, and always in control. But oddly enough, he seemed to have a strange patience for her. Or at least, he enjoyed watching her struggle with office life. After a few weeks, Emma thought she was finally settling in. That was until Lucas unexpectedly called her into his office with a proposal she never saw coming. "You need money, don't you?" Lucas stated bluntly, sliding a folder across his desk. Emma frowned. "Excuse me?" Lucas met her gaze. "I need a fiancé, and you need money. I'm offering you a deal. Pretend to be my fiancé for 6 months, and in return, I'll pay you enough to solve all your financial troubles." Emma's eyes widened. "You're talking about a fake marriage contract?" Lucas nodded, his voice as calm as if he were discussing a routine business transaction. "No way," Emma laughed, thinking he had to be joking. But Lucas wasn't laughing. "I don't have time for real relationships," he continued. "The board is pressuring me to appear more stable. If you agree, I'll make sure all your bills are paid and your mother gets the best medical care available." Emma went silent. She really needed the money, but this was insane. "And if I say no?" she asked. Lucas simply shrugged. "Then I'll find someone else." A part of Emma wanted to walk away immediately, but another part The part that knew this could be the one chance to turn her life around hesitated. Finally, she let out a deep breath and extended her hand. "All right, but I have conditions." Lucas raised an eyebrow. "What conditions?" Emma looked him straight in the eye. "No emotions involved." Lucas let out a low chuckle, shaking her hand. "It's the easiest condition I've ever heard." And with that handshake, Emma officially stepped into the most outrageous contract of her life. Living with Lucas Reed was unlike anything Emma had ever experienced. He was like a perfectly programmed machine, organized, disciplined, and disturbingly emotionless. The first day she moved into his luxurious penthouse, Emma couldn't help but admire it. It looked like something out of an architectural magazine. Gorgeous, but completely lifeless. She dropped her suitcase, crossed her arms, and scanned the place. You know what this place is missing?" Lucas, loosening his tie, glanced at her. "What?" Emma smirked playfully. "Life." Lucas frowned. "What?" "Look at it. No pictures, no personality, no sign that an actual human being lives here. It's like a fancy hotel room for robots." Lucas sighed and sat down. "I like things neat." Emma shook her head. "No, you like control." Lucas didn't argue. He simply stood up, adjusted his suit, and said, "We have an event tonight. You'll need an appropriate dress. I'll have some options delivered." Emma raised an eyebrow. "I can buy my own dress, you know." Lucas shrugged. "I don't go shopping." Emma chuckled. "Wow, must be such a tough life." That evening, Emma stepped into a sleek black dress, feeling out of place at Lucas's high-profile company event. Everything was going fine until she spotted Ryan, her ex-boyfriend. Ryan's eyes widened. "Emma, no way! What are you doing here?" Before Emma could react, Lucas stepped in, his gaze sharp. "Who's this?" Ryan extended a hand. "Ryan, Emma's ex." Lucas didn't shake it. Instead, he wrapped an arm around Emma's waist, pulling her close. "Interesting," Lucas said coolly. Emma could feel the tension. And then, without warning, Lucas leaned down and kissed her, right in front of Ryan. Emma froze. When Lucas pulled away, Ryan cleared his throat awkwardly. I should get going. Nice seeing you, Emma." He practically bolted out of there, leaving Emma completely stunned. She turned to Lucas, eyes wide. "What the hell was that?" Lucas simply shrugged. "Just making sure he got the message." Emma stared at him. She couldn't deny the strange feeling stirring inside her chest. Because for some reason, that kiss didn't feel fake at all. Ever since that kiss, everything changed. Lucas became distant. No more sharp remarks, no more cold, calculating looks, just silence. Emma could feel it. He was pushing her away. One night, when Lucas returned home late, Emma sat on the couch, arms crossed. "You're avoiding me." Lucas loosened his tie, not meeting her eyes. "You're imagining things." Emma narrowed her gaze. "No, I know something's wrong." Lucas exhaled but said nothing. His silence only made Emma more curious. She decided to dig deeper. It took her one evening to find something shocking. A news article, years old. Lucas Reed, betrayed at the altar. Fiancé runs away with another man. Emma blinked, staring at the photo attached to the article. Lucas, standing alone at the altar, his face completely unreadable. Suddenly, everything made sense. She shut her laptop and took a deep breath. That night, Lucas was drinking whiskey in the living room when Emma approached him. "You don't believe in love, do you?" Lucas glanced at her, his expression unreadable. "I don't have time for that." Emma sat beside him, looking straight into his eyes. "It's not that you're busy, it's that you're scared." Lucas let out a humorless chuckle. "You think you know me?" Emma tilted her head. "What did she do to you?" Lucas's grip on his glass tightened. "She left," he said, voice low, "right before we said our vows. With another man." Emma felt her chest tighten. Lucas set his glass down and stood up. That has nothing to do with our contract." He walked away, but Emma couldn't stop thinking about it. For the first time, she didn't see Lucas Reed as an emotionless machine. She saw a man carrying a wound that had never healed. Emma knew she shouldn't love Lucas, but her heart had already betrayed her long ago. She had seen a different side of him, not just a cold CEO, but a man who had once loved and been hurt. And that only made her want to stay by his side even more. But Lucas kept pushing her away. One night, unable to hold back anymore, Emma confronted him. "Lucas, are you really that afraid to love?" He said nothing. Emma clenched her fists. "I love you." The room fell into a deafening silence. Lucas stared at her, his gray eyes filled with conflict, but then he turned and walked away. Emma stood frozen, her heart shattering. He couldn't even admit anything? The next morning, Emma packed her bags. She placed the fake engagement ring on the table, along with a short note. "You won, Lucas. This time, you were the one who ran away." When Lucas returned home and saw the note, his chest tightened. He picked up the engagement ring she left behind, rolling it between his fingers. The silence of the apartment was deafening. He sat down, rubbing his face, realizing that for the first time in his life, he had lost something he couldn't afford to lose. But instead of chasing after her immediately, he just stood there, paralyzed by his own fears, staring at the empty space in front of him. Emma was gone, and this time, she might not come back. For the first time in his life, Lucas felt completely empty. He tried throwing himself back into work, but nothing made sense anymore. The apartment was too quiet. Breakfast tasted like nothing. Everything felt off. Or rather, missing someone. He sat in his office staring at the fake engagement ring Emma had left behind. Her words echoed in his mind. "You won, Lucas. This time, you were the one who ran away." And then it hit him. He had made the biggest mistake of his life. Lucas had never been afraid of failure, but now he was terrified of losing her. He grabbed his phone and called Emma, but she didn't answer. Text messages, no reply. He drove straight to her old apartment, but Emma was gone. The door opened, and her younger sister Lily stood there with her arms crossed. "What do you want?" Lucas took a deep breath. "I need to see Emma." Lily narrowed her eyes. "It's too late, you know that." Lucas' heart sank. "Where is she?" Lily hesitated before sighing. "She went to the beach house. That's her safe place." Without a second thought, Lucas drove through the night to get there. When he arrived, the warm glow of light shone from the windows, but it didn't feel warm to him. It felt like the only thing keeping her away. He hesitated for a moment, running a hand through his hair, before finally knocking. His heartbeat thundered in his chest. Would she even open the door? When Emma appeared, her eyes widened in shock. She looked at him as if he were a ghost from the past. "Lucas!" Her voice was barely a whisper. His throat felt dry. "I came to get you." Emma's expression hardened. "You think showing up here is enough?" Lucas exhaled. "No, I know it's not, but I need you to know. I was wrong. I was a coward, but this time I'm not running." She crossed her arms, studying him, searching for any trace of hesitation. "Prove it." Lucas nodded. He would do whatever it took to win her back. Emma stared at Lucas, suspicion in her eyes. "You say you're not running, but how do I know that's true?" Lucas didn't answer immediately. Instead, he walked back to his car, popped the trunk, and pulled out 2 suitcases. Emma frowned. "What are you doing?" Lucas set the luggage on the porch and looked at her. "I resigned." Emma froze. "What?" Lucas stepped closer, taking her hands. "I left the company, left everything behind, because I realized one thing: I can lose everything, but I can't lose you." Emma's heart clenched. "I know I've never been good at showing emotions, but I want to learn. I want to try, if you'll let me." Lucas took a step closer, then another, until he was right in front of her. The ocean breeze played with her hair, the golden light of the setting sun casting a soft glow on her face. He reached into his pocket, and with a slow, deliberate movement, he knelt before her, holding up a small velvet box. "Emma Carter, His voice was steady, but his eyes held a vulnerability she had never seen before. "You turned my world upside down in ways I never imagined, and I never want to go back to how I was before. Without you, none of this matters. Marry me." Emma gasped, her hands covering her mouth as tears welled up. She had never imagined this moment, yet now that it was happening, it felt like the only possible ending. She let out a shaky breath before nodding, her voice breaking. "Yes, 1,000 times, yes." Lucas exhaled, relief flooding his face before he pulled her into a deep, soul-stirring kiss, sealing the promise between them forever. A few weeks later, they had a small beachside wedding where Emma and Lucas started their new life with no contracts, no pretending, just real love. Emma and Lucas's wedding was simple, intimate, and perfect. Just the ocean, their loved ones, and two hearts that had finally found each other. Emma wore a flowing white dress, her hair cascading softly in the ocean breeze. Lucas, dressed in a suit with no tie, was no longer the cold CEO of Reed Publishing. He was just a man looking at her with pure, unwavering love. When the officiant asked, "Do you promise to love her forever?" Lucas held Emma's hands tightly and said with certainty, "I once didn't believe in love, but she made me want to feel again. And from this day forward, I promise never to let her go." Emma smiled through happy tears and whispered, "Me too." Applause erupted as Lucas pulled her into a deep, heartfelt kiss. After the wedding, they moved into their beach house, where life was finally calm, peaceful, free from the pressures of corporate meetings and business deals. In the mornings, they watched the sunrise together. At night, they sat on the porch, sipping wine, gazing at the stars. And in those quiet moments, Lucas knew that for the first time in his life, he was truly happy. No contracts, no fear, just real love, and a forever spent together. That morning, Emma woke up to the smell of something burning. Frowning, she threw on her robe and rushed to the kitchen, only to find Lucas standing there, his sleeves rolled up, a pan in one hand, and smoke billowing from what was supposed to be pancakes. She covered her mouth, trying not to laugh. "Lucas, what are you doing?" He glanced at her, looking both annoyed and determined. "Making breakfast." Emma raised an eyebrow. "Is that what we're calling it?" Lucas huffed, turning off the stove. "I watched a tutorial. It didn't mention fire hazards." Emma giggled, stepping closer. "You know, Mr. Reed, I never thought I'd see the day when you, CEO, control freak, perfectionist, would struggle with pancakes." Lucas sighed, rubbing the back of his neck. "I figured, if we're building a life together, I should learn how to do normal things." He glanced at the burnt mess on the plate. "Turns out I'm terrible at it." Emma smiled, reaching for his hand. "It's not about perfection, it's about effort." He smirked, pulling her close. "So you're saying you'll eat this disaster?" She grinned. "Absolutely not." Lucas chuckled before leaning in to kiss her. "Fine, but next time you're teaching me." As they laughed together, Emma realized something. Love wasn't just about the grand gestures or the dramatic moments. It was about this, the small, imperfect, wonderful moments that made every day feel like home.